Yes.
And that pattern has to be broken in order for there to be peace in the world.
Of course.
All right. Now, do you see that pattern, the breaking of that pattern being an active movement or a natural progression in the evolution of man?
Sir, have we evolved at all?
I think we're continuously evolving.
So you accept evolution, psychological evolution. We're not talking about biological or technical evolution. Psychological revolution, after a million years or 50,000 years, have we changed deeply? Aren't we very primitive, barbarous? So I'm asking if you will consider whether there is psychological evolution at all. I question it.
And I don't really know.
I don't personally, to the speaker, there is no psychological evolution. There is only the ending of sorrow, of pain, anxiety, loneliness, despair, and all that. Man has lived with it for a million years. And if we rely on time, which is thought, time and thought go together. If we rely on evolution, then another 1,000 years or more, and we'll still be barbarous.
Will you please identify your name and organization before asking your question? Yeah. Yes.
My name is Diane Shaneberg. I'm not with any organization. My question is, what would have to happen for there to begin to be psychological evolution as the speaker understands it?
Je n'ai pas compris, mais là, sorry.
Psychological.
Huh? Psychological?
Will you please repeat your question?
Yes. What will have to happen within man's mind for there to begin to be psychological evolution as the speaker understands it?
Psychological evolution.
What about psychological evolution? I don't quite understand the question.
You have said that you do not think there has been psychological evolution. My question is, what can happen so that there will be, so that there can be psychological evolution?
Huh? Madam, I'm afraid we haven't understood each other. We have lived on this earth from the historical as well as ancient inquiry on this earth for 50,000 years or more or less. And during this long period of evolution, psychologically, inwardly, subjectively, we have remained more or less barbarous, hating each other, killing each other. And time is not going to solve that problem, which is evolution. And is it possible, we're asking, for each human being who is the rest of the world whether that psychological movement can stop and see something afresh.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Marcel Bau. Is it okay? He's speaking. Yeah, I wanted to ask you what is the same question phrased in a different way. What should we do in order to affect this resistance toward evolution? I just want to say one more thing. There was a Dr. Boehm last month, and he said the same thing what you are saying in a different way. He's a scientist, and he was explaining the same problem. I wonder, what do you think we could do? As a matter of fact, what could we do right now in order to affect this?
I've got it. What could you do right now? Right?
That's it.
Change completely. Both psychologically and outwardly. First, the psychological revolution. Not evolution, but revolution, change completely. That is the real action of humankind. Not trying to fiddle around in the periphery.
Yes.
You may ask.
Roshan Bilamoria with the NGO community. You stated that an important condition for understanding humankind is beginning to understand ourselves clearly. Do you see that in these rooms, within the next 40 years at the United Nations, that this understanding of humankind through understanding ourselves will become a part of global decision-making?
I couldn't answer that question because I don't belong to the organization. Ask the bosses.
My name is Harry Lerner, and I'm the UN representative for the World Citizens Assembly and co-chair of the Communications Coordination Committee for the UN. And I'd like to, for the record, state that Mr. Marcel Bau, who asked that very significant question before, is also a member of that group. And I trust that you and he will have a chance to talk a bit later, because many of his writings seem to be highly related to your conclusions. But I would like to add another note, perhaps a note of greater encouragement in my question. You indicated that organizations may not provide the answer, and you also indicated that the history of humanity would incline you to pessimism about the future or salvation. And I think it depends upon the nature of the organizations and whether these are serving the interests of humanity and prepared to evolve as the UN and many other groups evolve and as humans evolve. For the record, let me just read a sentence from Dr. Lewis Thomas. You probably know him as a fellow author and the scientist author chancellor of the Memorial Sloan Kettering Center. He states, "We can build structures for human society never